Following on from our previous video, where we explored how to set up products in At the Yard, in today's video we're going to look at how to set up the feeding system, which takes advantage of those products we set up. To do this, there are 3 stages. Number 1, set up your feeding slots. Number 2, setting up each horse's individual feeding profile. And number 3, viewing the overall feeding schedule for each slot. The first step is setting up the feeding slots. This is really quick and easy. Just click on Admin and go down to Feeding Schedule Slots. Click on New Slot and enter the name of your first slot. So this might be our evening feed. We put at a time where this approximately will take place, for example 6 o'clock, and click Create Feeding Slot. We'll do this again and create our morning slot, which takes place at 8 o'clock. Our next step is going in and setting up the individual feeding profiles for each horse. Click on Edit Feeding Schedules, and you can see here all our horses have no feeding schedules. We click on Edit on our first one, and we can see the 2 slots we set up. Firstly, let's set up the morning slot. We're going to just feed hay in the morning, and we're going to give it, about a fifth of a bale of hay. And then in the evening, we're going to give actual feed, so we'll give 2 scoops of gold feed. And let's imagine for a moment this horse has a supplement as well, which is 1 unit of that supplement. And finally, we also give about half a bale of hay for the night. Once we're happy, we click Save Schedule. As you can see, Freddy has now moved up to the horses with a feeding schedule section, and we can go back and do the same for Ginger. We'll speed up the video for this. As you can see now, we have an overview of all the feed being used for each of our horses. We can get a better idea of how much is being used per day, per week, per month, by going to the Product Consumption Overview button. This is a highly information dense screen, and is best to be viewed on a computer and not a phone. As you can see here, it is broken down by both feed and by horse. We can see how much a horse is costing a day, a week, a month, and likewise we can see how much of each feed we're using daily, weekly, monthly, and how much we're spending on that exact feed. This can be really useful when trying to calculate if savings could be made by swapping maybe to an alternative feed supplier, or what each individual horse in your care is costing you. The final step is to go to the staff screen and actually look at the information we need to feed the horses each and every day. To do this, we click on the Daily Feeding Schedule button. Again, this is a screen designed for information density. As you can imagine, with 2 horses, it's nice and easy to read, but as we get more and more, we need as much space as we can, and hence, there's not much prettiness here, just full of information. We can click between the tabs at the top, so we're on evening feed currently, and we can swap over to morning feed, and so on and so on. We can then see for each horse exactly what's needed, so in the morning we have our hay, and in the evening we can see the scoops of feed required, the hay and the supplement, and we can also click on Show Details if we want to see the exact weight of each individual feed. This is great when maybe you want to just check someone hasn't thrown the wrong scoop in the wrong bucket. And that's all there is to it. We've set up everything needed. Now it's worth making a few notes at this point. Once a horse feeding schedule is set up, it will automatically bill the customer at the appropriate time each day. So for example, the evening feed was set up to be fed at 6 PM, an appropriate cost will be raised for that customer at 6 PM each day. This cuts down on admin load, but is worth remembering. It also automatically deducts from your estimated stock, so you can keep track of what's left on your yard. That ends this tutorial on the feed system in At the Yard. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with us, and we'll be more than happy to discuss anything you might need.